Namo Amitābha Buddha. Dear friends, I'm grateful you're here tonight. Have you ever noticed how life seems to fall apart the moment you finally lie down to rest? The house is quiet. The lights are off. Yet your mind refuses to sleep. Thoughts about money, health, family, work, and the future keep knocking again and again. Nothing dramatic may have happened today, yet inside there is a weight you can't quite name. Many people across America tell me the same thing. I'm exhausted, but I can't rest. I've done everything I'm supposed to do, yet life keeps pushing me down. At 2 or 3 in the morning, when the world is silent, these worries feel even heavier. If this sounds familiar, please know this. First, there is nothing wrong with you. You are not weak. You are not failing at life. Tonight, I'd like to gently share a Buddhist way of understanding why these struggles keep appearing, and more importantly, how to meet them without being broken by them. Not with force. A man driving home late on an empty highway, hands resting heavily on the steering wheel, replaying the same worries again and again. A mother lying awake while the rest of the house sleeps, staring at the ceiling, listening to the soft hum of the heater, wondering how much longer she can keep holding everything together. An elderly couple sitting side by side in the living room, the TV on, but muted, a hospital bracelet still on one wrist, both pretending to be strong for the other. Nothing dramatic is happening in these moments. No shouting, no crisis alarms, just a slow, steady wearing down of the heart. And in those moments, many people quietly think, I've tried to be good. I've tried to live right. Why does life still feel so heavy? In Buddhist temples across America, this question is whispered more often than you might imagine. After evening chanting, when the incense smoke curls upward and the bell's echo fades into the rafters, people linger. They bow, fold their hands, and then very softly share their lives. I don't understand, someone says. I volunteer. I donate. I try not to harm anyone, but my business keeps failing. Another voice trembles. I pray every night. I chant, but my health keeps getting worse. And sometimes, with eyes lowered, someone simply says, I'm so tired. I don't know what I did wrong. The Buddha never dismissed this feeling. He never told people to be grateful and stop complaining. He never said suffering only happens to bad people. Instead, he pointed to something much deeper and much kinder. He taught that life itself is shaped by conditions, not by fairness in the way we usually imagine it. Just as the weather does not ask whether a field belongs to a good farmer or a careless one, The conditions of life move according to causes and results far larger than any single moment. In Buddhist language, this is not punishment. It is not reward. It is simply how conditions arise, shift, and pass away. When we try to live well, something subtle often happens inside us. Without realizing it, we begin to carry an invisible expectation. If I do good, life should finally become gentle. So when difficulties continue, the pain is doubled. The hardship itself hurts, but the disappointment hurts even more. This is where the Buddha's wisdom feels especially compassionate. He taught that suffering does not come from hardship alone. It comes from the quiet belief that hardship should not be here. Imagine standing outside on a windy day. The wind blows cold against your face. That is uncomfortable, but manageable. Now imagine shouting at the wind, demanding it stop arguing with it, feeling personally offended by it. Suddenly, the experience becomes exhausting. Life's challenges are like that wind. The Buddha observed that gain and loss, praise and blame, comfort and pain move through human life like shifting currents. They are not personal attacks. They are not signs that you have failed at being a good person. Yet when we believe that living well should guarantee smoothness, every difficulty feels like proof that something is wrong with us. This belief quietly drains our strength. You may notice it in your own body. The tightness in the chest when another bill arrives. The shallow breathing when the phone rings late at night. The heaviness behind the eyes when you realize tomorrow will bring the same responsibilities again. The Buddha did not ask us to deny this pain. He asked us to see it clearly. He taught that the heart suffers not because life is imperfect, but because we cling to the image of how life should be. And when reality does not match that image, the heart feels betrayed. There is a gentle relief in understanding this, because it means your exhaustion is not a personal failure. Your discouragement is not a lack of faith. It is simply the natural response of a caring heart that has been holding on too tightly for too long. In many Buddhist families in America, there is a quiet saying passed down from elders: do your best. Bow to what comes. Rest when you can. It is not resignation, it is wisdom. Living well does not mean life will stop testing you. It means you are developing the inner strength to meet those tests without losing yourself. The Buddha never promised a life without storms. He promised a way to stand in the storm without being shattered by it. And perhaps tonight, as you listen, something in you can begin to soften, not because your problems have vanished, but because you no longer have to fight reality itself. There is a deeper understanding waiting here. One that explains why these challenges feel so personal, and how to meet them with a steadier heart, and to discover that we must look more closely at the winds that move through every human life, whether we are ready or not. And so to understand why these challenges feel so relentless, we gently turn toward what the Buddha described as the 8 worldly winds, the invisible forces that move through every human life, whether we welcome them or not. Imagine standing in the courtyard of a temple at dusk. The sky is fading from gold to deep blue. A single bell sounds in the distance, clear, then slowly dissolving into silence. A breeze passes through, lifting the incense smoke, bending it briefly, then letting it rise again. The Buddha chose the word winds for a reason. Winds cannot be owned. They cannot be argued with. They do not check whether we are ready. Sometimes they are gentle. Sometimes they are harsh, but they always move. The 8 worldly winds are simple to name, yet profound. To live with gain and loss, praise and blame, comfort and pain, recognition and disregard. They arrive in pairs because in this world, one never comes without the other. You may feel this clearly in your own life. One year, work is steady. The paychecks arrive on time. There is a sense of relief when you open the mailbox. Then, without warning, hours are cut. A department closes. A company restructures. Gain quietly turns into loss. A child does well in school. A supervisor compliments your effort. A neighbor thanks you for helping. Your chest warms, your shoulders relax. Later, a careless comment is made. An email feels cold. Someone misunderstands your intention. Praise slips into blame. There are mornings when the body feels light. The coffee tastes just right. Sunlight spills across the kitchen floor. And then there are days when pain wakes you before the alarm, aching joints, a tight chest, a doctor's appointment you'd rather not face, and recognition. That subtle desire to be seen, to matter, to know that your efforts count. In America, especially, this wind is strong. From a young age, people are taught to stand out, to succeed, to make something of themselves. So when recognition fades, when calls go unanswered, when birthdays are forgotten, when you feel invisible, the heart contracts in a quiet, lonely way. The Buddha did not list these winds to make us fearful. He named them so we could stop being surprised by them. Because so much suffering comes from the thought, this should not be happening to me. In Buddhist communities across the country, elders often explain it gently to younger generations. They sit together after chanting teacups, warming their hands, and say things like, "Child." Even the Buddha faced praise and blame. Even good people lose what they love, not as a warning, but as a comfort. The deep teaching here is not that life is cruel. It is that life is unstable by nature. When we mistake temporary conditions for permanent ground, the heart has nowhere steady to stand. This is where many sincere people struggle. They do not cling to bad things. They cling to good things: health, harmony, success, peace, and silently hope those things will stay. But the Buddha observed something very subtle. The tighter we hold what feels good, the more we fear the wind that might take it away. This fear becomes a background tension in the body. You can feel it in the jaw that never quite relaxes, in the way the breath shortens when checking the news, in the restlessness that appears just as sleep is about to come. The winds themselves are not personal. They are not judgments. They are not punishments. They are conditions moving through time. In the Buddha's words, all conditioned things are impermanent. They arise, they remain for a while, and they pass. This is not meant to sound cold or philosophical. It is meant to be freeing. Because if these winds are not personal, then you are not broken for encountering them. You are not failing for feeling shaken by them. You are human. Think of a lotus growing in a pond. Its roots are in the mud. The water around it is never still. Sometimes the surface is calm, reflecting the sky. Sometimes rain pounds down ripples, colliding in every direction. The lotus does not demand that the water behave. It grows anyway. The Buddha taught that wisdom begins when we stop asking, "How do I stop the winds?" and begin asking, "How do I stand without being carried away?" In many American temples, you will hear teachers say, "Do not build your happiness on conditions." This does not mean giving up joy. It means learning not to collapse when joy changes form. When gain turns to loss, you grieve, but you do not disappear. When praise turns to blame, you reflect, but you do not harden. When comfort turns to pain, you care for the body, but you do not curse your life. Understanding the 8 worldly winds does not make life flat. It makes life honest. It allows you to stop taking every change as a verdict on your worth. And slowly, very slowly, something shifts inside. You begin to notice that the winds still blow, but they do not reach as deeply into your heart. There is more to this teaching, something even more practical and reassuring. Because the Buddha did not stop at naming the winds. He showed us exactly where suffering truly begins and where it can gently end. And that understanding starts with looking closely at what happens inside us the moment a wind touches our life. And it is right there, at the very moment a wind touches our life, that the Buddha invited us to look more closely, not at the world, but at the mind that meets it. A door closes. A phone call ends too quickly. A doctor pauses before speaking. The body reacts first. The chest tightens. The stomach drops. The breath catches just slightly. That first sensation is pain. It is immediate, honest, human. But then almost instantly something else follows. A sentence forms in the mind. This shouldn't be happening. I can't handle this. Why does this always happen to me? The Buddha described this moment with a teaching that has quietly comforted suffering people for over 2,000 years. He called it the teaching of the two arrows. The first arrow is unavoidable. It is the pain that comes from life itself: loss, illness, disappointment, aging, separation. It lands whether we are ready or not. You can feel that arrow in ordinary moments. The sharp sting of reading an email that changes everything. The ache in the knees when standing up too quickly. The hollow feeling when a loved one says we need to talk. That first arrow pierces the body and the heart. No amount of faith, goodness, or effort can prevent it entirely. But then comes the second arrow. The second arrow is not fired by life. It is fired by the mind. It is the story we tell ourselves about the pain. This is unbearable. This means I'm failing. This will ruin everything. And unlike the first arrow, the second one can strike again and again, long after the moment has passed. You may notice this late at night. The house is still. A clock glows softly on the bedside table. The body is tired, but the mind is wide awake, replaying the same scene. What was said? What might happen? What you should have done differently? The first arrow may have landed hours ago, but the second arrow keeps flying. In Buddhist temples across America, teachers often explain this gently, using everyday language. They say, pain is part of being alive. Suffering is what happens when we argue with pain. This does not mean pain is imaginary. It means suffering is optional, even when pain is not. Consider a woman named Linda, whom many people might recognize themselves in. Linda works full-time and cares for her elderly mother at home. Some days are manageable. Other days feel endless. One afternoon, her mother falls. Nothing is broken, but the fear lingers. That night, Linda lies awake, listening to every sound in the house. The first arrow was the fall, the fear, the exhaustion. But the second arrow arrived quietly in thought after thought. I can't do this much longer. If something worse happens, it will be my fault. My life is slipping away. By morning, Linda feels hollowed out not only by the event, but by the hours of inner struggle. The Buddha's insight was radical in its kindness. He did not tell Linda or any of us to deny these thoughts. He asked us to see them clearly, to notice that the mind, when touched by pain, immediately reaches for control, explanation, and certainty, and when it cannot find them, it tightens. This tightening is suffering. The Buddha taught that suffering is born from clinging to how things should be, clinging to safety, clinging to the idea that we must always be okay. When life does not match those expectations, the heart feels attacked. You can feel clinging in the body. The jaw presses together. The shoulders lift and stay there. The breath becomes shallow, almost guarded. Even moments of rest are invaded. Sleep, which should feel like a refuge, becomes another place where the mind stands watch. The Buddha did not criticize this response. He understood it deeply. He saw that the mind is trying to protect us, trying to prevent future pain by replaying the past and worrying about the future. But this protection comes at a great cost. It steals the present moment. It exhausts the nervous system. It turns pain into a permanent state. And this is where the teaching offers real hope. Because the second arrow, the arrow of suffering, is not inevitable. Between the first arrow and the second, there is a small space. At first, it feels almost invisible, but with gentle awareness, it can be felt. It is the moment after the sensation, before the story. The Buddha taught that freedom begins when we learn to rest in that space, not by force, not by pushing thoughts away, but by recognizing, this is pain, and this is the mind reacting to pain. In many Buddhist families, elders describe it simply. They say, don't scold the heart, just sit with it. This sitting is not passive, it is deeply courageous. It means allowing the first arrow to be what it is without adding the second. When pain arises, you acknowledge it. Yes, this hurts. And when the story begins to spin, you notice it gently. This is fear speaking. This is worry trying to protect me. In that noticing, the second arrow loses its sharpness. The pain may still be there. The situation may not change overnight. But something essential shifts. The heart softens. The breath deepens. The body begins to feel held rather than attacked. The Buddha taught that this is the beginning of liberation, not from life, but within life. Understanding the two arrows does not make you numb. It makes you kinder to yourself. It allows you to experience pain without turning it into an identity, without telling yourself that you are broken, unlucky, or doomed. And slowly, very slowly, you begin to trust that you can meet life as it comes without being crushed by it. There is a way to support this understanding, especially in moments when the mind feels too restless to settle on its own. A gentle practice, a steady anchor, something that helps the heart remain present when the winds blow strong. And it is here that the path becomes even more practical and deeply comforting. And it is precisely here when the mind begins to see the second arrow forming that a quiet question naturally arises in the heart. If I cannot stop the wind, what can help me stay steady? Picture a small boat on open water. The waves are not violent, but they are constant. Without something to hold it, the boat drifts, turning endlessly, never quite at rest. The Buddha understood this human need deeply. He did not tell people to simply let go and hope for the best. He offered something very practical. He offered an anchor. In Buddhist practice, that anchor can take many forms. For some, it is the breath. For others, it is a sacred phrase. And for countless families across America, it is the gentle practice of chanting or reciting the Buddha's name, not as a superstition, not as a bargain with the universe, but as a way of giving the mind something steady to hold when the winds blow strong. You may have seen this yourself. An elderly woman sits quietly in a temple hall. Her back is slightly bent, hands folded in her lap. Her lips move almost imperceptibly. No drama, no urgency, just a soft rhythm like waves touching the shore. If you look closely at her face, you notice something subtle. The lines of worry have loosened. The eyes, though tired, are gentle. The breath moves slowly without strain. This is not blind faith. This is settled attention. The Buddha taught that when the mind has no place to rest, it runs endlessly from past to future, from fear to regret. But when the mind is given a single wholesome object, it begins to gather itself. Reciting the Buddha's name, such as Namo Amitābha Buddha, works in this way. Each repetition is like dropping a small stone into moving water. At first, the surface still ripples. Thoughts continue to pass, but gradually, the movement softens. This is where many misunderstandings arise. Some people think chanting is about asking for miracles. Others worry it is not logical or not modern. The Buddha's teaching is far simpler and far more grounded. When the mind is scattered, fear grows. When the mind is unified, fear loosens its grip. Chanting is a form of gentle concentration. It gathers the mind without force. It soothes the nervous system. It interrupts the endless loop of the second arrow. In Buddhist language, this is the beginning of samadhi, a calm, stable awareness, not a trance, not an escape, but a mind that is no longer pulled in 10 directions at once. You may notice the effect in very ordinary ways. The shoulders drop slightly. The breath deepens on its own. The jaw unclenches. The problem may still be there. The bills may still need paying. The diagnosis may still be uncertain, but the heart is no longer drowning. In many Buddhist households in the United States, this practice is woven quietly into daily life. A father chants softly while waiting in his car before a night shift. A mother recites under her breath while folding laundry, the hum of the dryer in the background. An adult child whispers the Buddha's name while sitting beside a hospital bed, the steady beep of a monitor marking time. These are not grand ceremonies. They are acts of inner care. The Buddha taught that when we place the mind on something wholesome and steady, we are not running away from life. We are preparing to meet it wisely. This is where karma and blessing are often misunderstood. Karma is not fate carved in stone. It is habit. It is momentum. When fear dominates the mind, actions follow fear. When calm is present, actions arise from clarity. Recitation helps change that inner momentum, not by erasing the past, but by creating new conditions in the present. Each moment of steadiness weakens the old habit of panic. Each moment of calm plants a seed of trust. Over time, this becomes what many elders call accumulating merit. Not because the universe is keeping score, but because the heart is being trained toward kindness, patience, and balance. You can see this change happen slowly. A person who once reacted sharply now pauses. Someone who once lay awake for hours begins to fall asleep sooner. The same challenges appear, but they do not cut as deeply. This is the anchor doing its quiet work. The Buddha never asked us to believe without seeing. He invited us to try and to notice. Notice how the mind feels after 10 minutes of steady recitation. Notice how the body responds when the breath and the words fall into rhythm together. Notice how the second arrow begins to lose its power. The winds may still blow. Life may still knock. But you are no longer empty-handed. You have something to return to, something steady, something kind, and in the moments when the night feels longest, when sleep seems far away, this anchor can become a refuge not somewhere else, but right here in the heart that is learning how to rest. In the next quiet moments, we will bring this understanding into a very simple practice, one you can use tonight exactly as you are without effort or strain. Just a few minutes, one breath at a time, one gentle phrase at a time. And now, without effort or expectation, we arrive at something very simple. A few quiet minutes. Nothing to fix, nothing to solve. Just a way to let the heart rest before sleep. If you are lying down, allow your body to settle in the way it naturally wants to. If you are sitting, let your back be upright, but not stiff, like a tree that knows how to bend with the wind. The lights may already be dim. The room is still. Somewhere in the distance, a car passes, then fades away. There is no need to change anything yet. First, bring gentle attention to the body. Notice where it is heavy. The weight of your shoulders sinking into the bed. The back of your head resting, supported. The hands perhaps warm, perhaps cool, resting without holding on to anything. If there is tension, you do not need to push it away. Simply notice it the way you might notice a cloud drifting across the sky. Now, allow the breath to come into awareness. Do not control it. Just notice how it moves on its own. The air enters quietly. The chest or belly rises just a little. Then, the breath leaves slow and unhurried. If it helps, you may place one hand gently over your heart or your abdomen, feeling the warmth there.